So, why do you love martial arts movies so much?
Obsessed with a particular genre, and I just feel like I have to explore it because it's really amazed me and it's really broadened my horizons on film in general.
And they kick butt too.
Penny, at it again! Read about it! Extra! Place grab, young fella! Extra, extra!
And welcome back to the SuperCaZt, everybody. I'm your host, the man who put the super in SuperCaZt, the Super Foch, and it wouldn't be the SuperCaZt without my good buddy and co-host, the Steve Z, the man who put the Z in SuperCaZt, by the way.
That's me, guys. Steve Z, the man.
Welcome, guys. We are, if you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're a returning visitor, welcome back. And basically, we are just two lifelong friends who talk movies, who talk history, just pretty much whatever's on our mind at this point. We do mostly movie reviews, so if you're new to the channel, we do a lot of noir. We love martial arts, which we'll be talking about some martial arts stuff in just a bit. So if you know anybody that loves movies, martial arts, noir films, and they haven't found our channel, please direct them over to us because, heck, we love, having more people at the party. This is one big party. We're not authoritative on anything. We're just two dudes that love stuff like this. So if you are with us on that, come hang. We love it.
Yeah, and to start things off, to elaborate on one of these points you said, one of these loves. Our first topic today is just my love for martial arts films.
That is awesome, dude. Yeah, if you guys are new, we have done a few reviews of some of our favorite martial arts, especially some of his favorites. Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee film that even if you're not a fan of martial arts, I'm sure you've heard of. We did Police Story.
Well, we did Wheels on Meals a while back, but we also did Yes, Madam just recently, which should be coming out very soon.
I want to just start off this bit of our conversation, and say, what do you think kind of lit the fire for you in this love of martial art? Can you nail it down to one thing or one instance? Like what was it that kind of sparked that flame at the beginning, man?
I don't know. This is definitely something that goes back many years. Because I definitely got into it in like high school and college again. But I would say this past few months, it's definitely big. Like I've discovered something new in my life. It's crazy because I've definitely had my experiences, but it's sort of like when I first got into westerns or when I first got into musicals or something. I just obsessed with this particular genre, and I just feel like I have to explore it because it's really amazed me and it's really broadened my horizons on film in general. So I want to talk about it. So you ask me anything about it, and I'll tell you.
And you've kind of gotten me definitely. I'm starting to dip my toe into the martial arts pool a little bit. Definitely enjoy the ones that we've talked about.
Well, if you want to go way back to the Genesis, it was just Bruce Lee's cool.
Oh, don't hit back.
And I just thought it was like great action films. And from there, when I got back into them a second time, it was when I was studying film a little more seriously. So at that point, I was comparing them to Westerns a lot. That was the filter I looked through them. I was like, these are a lot like Westerns. And it's just this past time where I just realized these movies are insane. They push the limits for your expectations, what you think is going to happen with the plot. At the same time, they're not going to pull any punches. Literally, these action sequences they're intense, and to me, I like it because there's a lot of variety in there too. That's what I've really discovered is these films, they just have something for everybody. I mean, there's some comedy in there. You can find a romantic comedy martial arts film. You can find just a straight up thriller / action film. I mean, it's all there. I haven't seen any horror ones yet, but I know they're out there. So to me, it's sparked by that. And I guess the experience that really sold me on it was when I watched finally Police Story 2, and followed by that I watched Dragons Forever the next night, and I was addicted from there. These films just gave me the super rush of the stunts, but also the action, but enough comedy there to kind of just make you laugh off your troubles of the day. So that's what got me into it, and I've just been riding this train ever since.
Is other than Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and all these notables that even non-fans would know about. Is there somebody within the martial arts film world that you just are really high on that maybe are not as well known as these other guys?
The first guy that to mind, and if you've watched the show, you've heard me mention his name several times, Sammo Hung. I mean, the guy, first off, he looks like he can't do what he's doing when it comes to martial arts. I mean, he's a big, heavy-set dude, but he's an athlete. He can move, and to me, I really like how he does the comedy. I think he does it just as well as Jackie, if not better sometimes. He does characters that are a little more odd and stuff like that, but at the same time, he's a brilliant director. Like, that's where he's really impressed me, is what he can do behind the camera, not just the action, but just how he can make you care about a movie like Winners and Sinners, a movie that has no plot for the first hour of it, but it still works. And to me, anybody that can pull that off and make you care about the characters and just kind of get you engulfed in the film for that long, where you're just like, what just happened? And I've just looked at my watch and 30 minutes have gone by. Who knew? I mean, anybody that can like immerse you that much just with something very simple, I'm just immensely impressed by.
Is there a movie within the martial arts genre that maybe a lot of people don't know about, that maybe we haven't even talked about yet, that is on your mind that you want to go ahead and just give a little mini review of?
I guess the one that's to mind is it's a film that I watched pretty recently. It's In the Line of Duty Part 4. I watched it last weekend, and it's great because it's part of the same series that we've been talking about with Yes Madam and another great one called Royal Warriors. But this one is like I guess the earliest film I can think of that has Donnie Yen as a central character. And if you don't know about him, you probably need to brush up on your martial arts films. I mean, this he's insane. But that one, it's really cool because it brings in him and introduces him very well and shows off what he can do. But I don't know. I don't want to spoil too much of it right now. It's fresh on my mind. The action sequences are great. If I had to deviate and go for another one, just a bonus pick, I got to go with the other one I mentioned. Royal Warriors is like, when I watched that, the first 10 minutes just blew my socks off because I thought that they could push it really, really far. And then that one just showed me, no, it can go farther than you think as far as the action, but also just the stakes, the things they introduce in the first 10 minutes. And it's just an amazing thing. Michelle Yeoh is awesome in it. And it'll get you out of your feet cheering by the end.
Now, I know a lot of people may think of martial arts films and they may think of a comedy or good action sequences, but is there a film that the story is just right there with the action? Because I know a lot of films are good just because of the action. The story not so much maybe, but the action kind of keeps it afloat. But is there a story? Is there a movie? And I think I know what you're going to say because I think we've talked about one, but just for our newbies here, is there a martial arts film that you would recommend based on story, first of all?
Yeah, the one we've already talked about, obviously, Enter the Dragon. It's one of our most popular episodes. But in that one, we talked about how great the writing is, and I totally agree with that. The characters are written great. You don't even see fight, really, other than like the opening fight and some other like short fight for about an hour of the film, and yet you're still kind of entertained and you're still kind of engrossed by it. So that one's great and perfect. But another one that went to my mind while you were talking about that is one that stars Jet Li, and it's like an early 2000s film called Fearless. And this one is so tragic, and it's basically the story of this man who he's a martial arts expert. He's just like one of the best in his whole town, and he pros it. And he's got all these followers that just come and hang out with him and drink with him all the time. And he's just a blowhard. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. But guess what? This man becomes humble. He has tragedy in his life. Everything is taken from him, and then he has to come back from that, and he becomes like a better person and just a better fighter. And I'm not going to spoil too much, but it's a very tragic movie, but a very cool movie. It's got some great action in it, obviously, but I really like where that story goes with that character, and I think Jet Li just portrays it great.
To kind of close this part of our conversation off, I know you and I talked about this off the air, But when you have a movie like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and you have a actor playing Bruce Lee, and if you know that movie, you know Bruce Lee is in a scene, and he's portrayed in a certain way. And I know you and I talked about that, and you kind of came to a peace with that. You want to kind of talk about that?
Yeah, it's been an experience, because originally I was very turned off by that scene. I was like, as soon as they cast the guy, I was like, the guy doesn't look anything like Bruce Lee. And then I heard him act, and I'm like, he doesn't really sound like Bruce Lee. And I was thinking about so many other people that from Hong Kong that could have played that part. But then I watched the film more, and I understood the character more and what Tarantino's going with that character more. And I'm like, this is not Bruce Lee. This is a character of Bruce Lee. This is not the real guy. And it made me appreciate the performance a little bit more. He is this larger-than-life stand-in for Bruce Lee, but at the same time, he's kind of a joke. And that's not making fun of the actual Bruce Lee, because the actual Bruce Lee's a real person. This is a made-up version of him. So once I realized that, it didn't offend me anymore, and I don't think it really should offend other people if you get the movie. And
now, I admire Cassius Clay, I do. What I admire is, in his sport, there's an element of true combat. When Cassius Clay meets Sonny Liston in the ring, that's not two athletes posturing. That's combat. Two men trying to kill each other right now. If you don't beat him, he kills you. That's beyond athletics. That's beyond wide world of sports, you know. That's two warriors engaged in combat. That's what I admire. In martial arts tournaments, they won't let you fight like that. It's very frustrating. You stand in front of a guy and you just want to let him have it. But you can't. So you got to do this play-acting patty cake version. Cassius Clay, Sonny Liston, Joe Louis. The colored boxer, not that white kickboxing asshole.
I'm not going to spoil it, but last time I watched it, I really got an appreciation for it and what Tarantino was doing as far as him, the change in the character just from this little incident. And I'm just going to get into that later, because I'm pretty sure we're going to come back to that film later in the near future.
Like we said, though, we have done a few martial arts films: Police Story, Enter the Dragon, Meals on Wheels. So if you're a martial arts fan, or you know a martial arts fan, please check those videos out and let us know what you think, and put in the comments of maybe some movies we haven't touched on, and I guarantee you at some point we definitely will. Like my buddy is here, I'm definitely getting into it myself. And so I can say, just from coming from a casual fan, they're definitely fun to watch. They're definitely experiences, just a good time. So yeah, definitely watch it. And like I said, keep an eye out on our channel, and we may have some more videos in that genre coming soon.